Hey guys, Xaryu here, and today I'm going to break down another island expedition. In the last video I uploaded, you guys talked to me about how PvP in the island expeditions were correctly warranted because if you die, then you're not collecting resources. And I had a very different opinion, and you guys disagreed with me, and I think that's awesome. I think it's really cool that you guys can disagree with my opinion and actually have a discussion down in the chat as well. And you guys had a great point, right? If you're dead in the graveyard, you're not collecting resources, and then you have a chance to catch up in addition to getting resources from the enemy team when you actually kill them. And I think all of that is a good point. I'm still more of a PvPer, and like I said in the last video, I'm very biased, right? I love arena, or just I love like strictly PvP based things. So in my perfect world, I would still like a much higher percentage of PvP in these island expeditions, right? I would like the I actually forgot about this. I instantly died right there. I'm a PvE noob, all right, guys. I've cleared all my mythics and stuff like that for gear, but clearly I'm not doing my best in here in this PvE environment. But in my opinion, I like the PvP as like the main part of the game and the extra PvE aspect there. And I like the objective, but I don't. It seems almost like a Mythic Plus tied, like a Mythic Plus race tied in with a little bit of PvP instead of a ton of PvP tied in with a little bit of PvE. So just the percentages there, to me, seem a little bit skewed. But you guys put your comments down below. You guys disagreed with me in saying that that it's actually pretty cool the way it is, and that the PvP is still rewarding because the enemy players don't get to farm in that time as well. And I thought that was well said, and I appreciate you guys leaving that comment down. So I queued up some more, and I did have a good amount of fun. You know, you have to get your Azurite weekly cap to 40,000. So this was my first one for this week. Actually, maybe second game for this week, but just capping for this week, and finally got my cap to level up my necklace. But here we are, start of the game. If you guys haven't played this game mode yet, it's the first team to collect 12,000 Azurite. You get Azurite from chests and varying sources around the map, from doing quests, or from just killing mobs. And the team to collect the Azurite first, or the 12,000 Azurite first, will win. However, your guys are both on the same island, so that if you kill the opposing team, you actually get an Azurite bounty on each of their players' heads. So right now, if I got killed, the enemy team would get 48 Azurite towards their score. Plus, as you guys pointed out, now if you kill the enemy team, they're dead, so they can't farm either. So it's kind of a mix between who can farm quicker, who can collect the objectives quicker, but also who can win these PvP battles. And I guess at the end of the day, what made me say that PvP doesn't feel as rewarding as I think it maybe should feel is I fought a team that was triple DPS, and I think it was maybe just like double Demon Hunter Warlock. I can't exactly remember the composition. We ended up losing the game. It was actually relatively close. We ended up losing the game, and here's how the game went. We engaged them, we killed them all instantly, they rezzed, and then we couldn't find them again. They were just, they were kind of hiding around the map. But when they were hiding, actually, here we disconnect. I actually logged back in. This is still my favorite game of the day, so I wanted to pick this one, even though we disconnected. Disconnect, come back in, log back in. I think I actually DC again. There was some bug going on in the game. We finally get back in, so that's good. But anyway, in the game, we kept wiping the enemy team over and over. Every time we saw them, we killed them instantly, but then they rezzed, and then we couldn't find them again for another minute or two, and then they would farm quicker than us because there's 3 DPS. We'd see them, we'd kill them instantly, and then they ran away and they were farming. So it almost felt like when I was in that game, I was very frustrated because I was like, this enemy team, like, they die instantly, but then every time they just run away, we can't find them, we can't find them, they're running away, and then eventually they'll just out farm us because they have triple DPS. So it's almost better if every time they see us, they stand still, they let us kill them, they spawn, and if we push their ship, then the ship shoots at us too. So if they spawn, they kind of run away on their mounts. If we, chase them, I guess we could just consistently chase them down, but it seems like what we were doing, they'd eventually get away, they'd farm for a bit, they'd out-farm us, we'd be behind, we'd kill them again, we'd eventually find them, and then it was just this cycle continued. So it almost felt like, wow, even if we're hunting the enemy team down, killing them instantly, and then farming, we're still losing. So that's what made me really feel like, okay, these bounties maybe need to be a little bit higher, to the point where if you're spam killing the enemy team, you're not going to lose, right? If you're spam killing the enemy team, then, that should be enough Azurite. But once again, you guys seem to disagree with me generally on that point, and that's definitely okay. I definitely like that. But Anyway, as you see here on the screen, I'm collecting a lot of the objectives, right? Collecting the treasure chests, collecting different objectives, and that's really what I find, like just the mining and from the chest alone, you're getting so much Azurite compared to just doing big AoE pulls. So I'm actually checking all these little things, and here's our first engagement. I actually pop Lust because I assume his whole team's around, but it looks like it's just a Paladin. We just instantly kill him. So I actually should not have lusted there. I do generally like to save Lust for that first engagement, though. Because if you save Lust for the first engagement, then it's like a really big boost. You could use it in the first AoE pull, but I don't know. My Boomkin actually does die there. A lot of mobs just kind of one-shot the Boomkin. By the way, we're playing Pumi Frostmage, Resto Shaman. Maybe not the greatest composition, but we had a lot of fun doing it anyway. And I'm trying to kill everyone, and now, since we killed the Paladin, the Hunter and the Monk come running. So now it's Hunter and Monk and all of these mobs on us, so it's a little unfortunate, right? Because all the mobs are on my Shaman, and it just can't really peel, and my Shaman kind of just goes down immediately. So now this is a point where it's like, oh crap, I'm going to try to run. I actually double blink out of there and go invis to try to, like, just not die while my team rises, and then we can group back up. So right now we're actually in a slight... We're losing slightly, right? They're at 5,500, we're at 4,400, so we're actually kind of behind. So this is like, okay, we need to group back up, we need to collect a lot of Azurite, and we actually need to wipe this team if we want to, you know, come back ahead in this game. And that's what I think is kind of cool about this game mode, right? Is that it's not just, you know, it's not just like, oh, this team's gonna win or this team's gonna win. It's really, you have to really play out the game to see who's going to come out ahead a lot of the times. And that's why I like objective-based gameplay in general. And that's why I actually like the idea of this game mode a lot, even though I have a lot of comments and criticisms about it, is because, like, in a 3v3 game, a lot of the times it's just like, oh, this team is going to win, or, you know, it's scripted and it's going to happen in this way. But I think in this type of environment, or any type of objective-based environment, it's very back and forth amongst the top teams. It's not just like, oh, we're going to 100% win or 100% lose. There's some RNG involved. There's a lot of decision-making involved, and rotations involved, to like where we're going to go on each map, and then the RNG aspect of the different spawns and stuff like that. So every single game almost feels like a different outcome. So if you keep playing, it almost feels like a new game each time. And that's what I think objective-based gameplay is very important, instead of just team deathmatch. And I've talked about this before on the Twitch stream, but also on the YouTube channel, that almost every competitive game is objective based right now, right? You look at League of Legends, and you have the creep, you have dragon, bear, and whatever objective based. I don't play too much, so you League of Legends pros out there are probably like, Xaryu, stop talking. All right. And then, you know, in Counter-Strike, you have to defuse a bomb, or, you know, in a lot of different games, you don't see popular team deathmatch games in PvP, really, right? And in World of Warcraft, we have the most popular PvP format as 3v3, which is essentially team deathmatch. You know, you die and you lose. Instead of like RBGs or 6v6 RBGs or something like this that's more objective based, I think adds a lot of just different compositions, different metagames, different decision making, different types of skill sets, and I think it's very, very cool. So yeah, I would love to see more stuff like this in the future. I still think there's some work to do on the game mode, right? I still don't know if it's completely tuned, but what I think is cool about it, and similar to RBGs, is that the best 3v3 players don't just go into RBGs and become the best RBG players. Just because they're good at 3v3 doesn't mean they're good at all PvP or formats, right? Rather. So the best PvPers automatically don't become the best in Island Expeditions, right? Because in Island Expeditions, you have the Mythic Plusers that will be able to clear this whole island in 14 seconds flat, you know what I mean? So they're going to be able to clear the content much quicker as far as just straight up DPS. So I thought that was very cool, that it's like, okay, this is a new skill set, something that you might have to work on. Similarly to if you're really good in duels, that doesn't make you good in threes, and if you're really good in threes, that doesn't make you really good in duels, you know, so on and so forth. It's just different skill sets, and I really like to see new skill sets come in the PvP space, specifically ones that are based around objectives, right? I've been saying it for a while, so thumbs up on that one. As you can see, we've kind of collected a slight lead here. We've just been going to the X's on our map. So if you press M, go to the map, you go to the X's, you go, well, as you saw right there, or you can go to the skulls, or you just can collect just more Azurite. So here's what the skull looks like. Here's what the X looks like. We can move towards this X, or we can move towards this skull and kill it. And then all the diamonds are nodes on the map, so we want to grab the Azurite nodes as well. As you can see by all this animation, something's about to spawn here, so we're making our way towards it. And this is one of the best spawns on the entire map. I feel like it needs nerfs almost. It's so good. So essentially all of these Azurite dudes will spawn, but then all of these mining nodes spawn as well. So you get to kill these, which give you Azurite, then you get to collect this, which gives you Azurite. Then you get to collect these big ones and kill this big dude. And there's a third cluster over here as well. So all in all, this is like 2,000 Azurite just from this one little bit of this one little spawn, right? So we're gonna aggro pretty much everything, try to AoB it all down, and then collect the nodes as well. And we have a feeling that the enemy team is pretty close by. I think one of us typed it in party chat. We're not actually in voice comms or anything like that, but that we saw the enemy. So the enemy's actually close, right? Hunter, Monk, Ret, I believe is the enemy, right? So we want to keep that in mind. One side note is that there's no Gladius, S-Arena raid frames or anything like that. I almost would like to see that implemented maybe in some way. Just Blizzard default frames, if anything. Just so you can have more competitive, 3v3 when you actually do see the enemy team instead of just having it be open world. But that's up for discussion as well. It's almost nice having it in an open world environment as well. So I can definitely see opposing arguments for that. But I'm just mining here all the nodes. So realistically, I shouldn't be mining. Realistically, I should be doing more damage with my Moonkin, and my Shaman should actually be mining. My Shaman's a healer, and we're all full HP. So he has downtime right now, right? He can actually be picking all of these up while I'm doing more DPS. And that's just something that we need to communicate and work on. So right now, I'm just picking up all these mines. And the reason I'm picking them up is because I think the enemy team's close, and I don't want them to come and ninja our mines. I want to get as many points as possible. But look at this, guys. Our score is 9,500. Over 2,000 Azurite, I think, from this one little area, which is crazy. We were kind of tied or maybe a little bit behind for a while, and now we're up in like 1,000-point lead just from this one spawn. And that's why I was saying there is an RNG element, right? We spawned on top of this, we ran over it, we killed it, and now we're in the lead. That's some RNG, right? This camp specifically might need a little bit of a nerf. It seems like this camp specifically gives a lot more Azurite than a lot of the other camps. But look at this. Now we're up to 10,984 after just clearing that one camp. So that seems a little OP. But the enemy team just killed a rare, as you can see, and they're up to 9754, so they've killed a pretty good camp themselves. And now it's almost 10,000, and boom, we see him up here. I'm pinging my minimap to tell my team, look, they're right up here. We need to fight them and kill them, right? They are killing some more elites, more rares, and we're both at around 10,000, right? So at this point, guys, if we're all worth 250 Azurite. If we kill them, we're going to win the game. We're only 1,000 points away. If they kill us, they're essentially going to win the game. And that's where it gets to a very, very cool point. I'm typing my party chat and pinging like, team, they're up this way. And my team was, I think they were killing just another elite or two. But they do finally come this way. And now we kind of get in this 3v3 situation where, look, we're at 11,296. They're at 10,754. If we try to run away and get more, and they get a kill on us, we're going to lose. Same thing with them. If we kill them, we're going to win. If they kill us, they're going to win. So this is actually a really cool moment here. That's why I chose this game. And this almost, I was live streaming. This is pretty hype because it's like, it all comes down to this one kind of engagement. We haven't had an engagement like this the entire time, which is kind of worrisome, right? I would like more of this, less of the PvE. But, once again, I'm a PvPer, so that makes sense. But anyway, our initial strategy is to CC the Monk with Root Beam, Cyclones, Polymorphs, and kill the Ret Paladin. Put a little bit into this, we kind of realize this Ret Pali's self-healing is insane, and he's not really going down at all. So we're kind of, eventually we switch up our strategy. My Shaman's getting very low, couple points here. My Moonkin's doing a good job of Cyclones to peels. I'm throwing out some Sheeps to peel as well. We throw out that Polymorph, getting some more damage out. This Pali's just literally not taking damage. So I think at one point I had type in the party chat, like, let's try Monk, or we could try Hunter, we could try Monk, like this Pali's not dying. So at some point we do go ahead and make that switch. There's that full Root Beam. I think at some point we got triple Sheep into a full Root Beam into a full Cyclone, and the Pally didn't die. And I'm like, well, I think it was right here. We got triple Sheeps into the Root Beam, into the Cyclone, and Pally's still fine. And I'm like, okay, if we're going to CC this guy for 30 seconds and the Pally's still alive, like, we're going to have to change up our strat. Like, Pally's just not going to die here. So we end up sheeping the Paladin and sheeping the Hunter and going Monk instead. The problem with Boomy Mage is that, I mean, if I was with a Rogue, we'd kill this Monk in like 2 seconds. We throw out that full kidney shot, or we throw out the blind to get the trinket. We throw out the full kidney on the trinket. The guy's just dead. But we're with a Boomy, which might farm quicker than a Rogue, but the kill might not come as quick. So it's like pros and cons of different group compositions starting to form here as well. But we get a lot of damage out on the moon, out from the Moonkin and myself, and we force the wall and we force that cocoon, which is really nice. But it's interesting. You can form a group to really PvP, or you can form a group to to farm really quick. And if you form a group to farm really quick, maybe a tank and 2 DPS, then you might, and the tank just pulls 2 DPS, nuke everything, you might do really well in the farming, but you might lose the PvP engagements. You know, or something like this with a healer and 2 DPS. You might not be able to farm as quick, but you'll be able to do very well in the PvP engagements. But anyway, we get that stun into that root beam, and the lay on hands from the valley actually coming out. So you can time warp. I think you can lay on hands as well. I think that's what we saw just there in this mode. It's not like Arena where there's no time warp. It's not like Arena where you can't lay on hands. It's pretty open world in the fact that you can use all of these things, which I think I like. Some of the PvE items might be a little bit too overtuned, but I think I like that it's very, very open like this. But this monk's getting very low here. Still healing himself back up. I did miss my kick there because it overlapped with that Hex just a little bit. And once again, guys, whoever wins this battle wins the game. So it's like this whole time I was looking at my Shaman's life bar right here, and I'm like, oh no, this is getting very close. If it gets any closer, you know, we just lose. Like, that would suck after playing a 15-minute match to lose at the very end when all we have to do is land a kill here on this monk. Once again, all we need is that stun. There it is. The bash comes out. Monk actually trinkets it. Common Storm coming out, and he finally goes down. And once we got the monk down, I mean, they have no healer, right? So this ret with 0 heals, like literally just only self-heal, should eventually go down. We're at 11,796. So as soon as this pally goes down, we get 250. That's going to be enough to actually give us the victory. And there it is. We finally came out ahead. Not an easy win. Kind of back and forth. We were actually down a little bit. We had a disconnect in that game and a little bit of miscommunication, but ended up taking that victory. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. I am liking the new island expeditions, although I do have some issues with them. I love your guys' comment, criticism, feedback down below in the comments, so make sure to continue to do that. Thumbs the video down if you didn't like it. Talk to me in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next upload. Peace.